Hi guys, welcome back to Goodbye Grains. Today we are going to be making 3 simple dressing recipes. Now, paleo dressings, at least in my opinion, are kind of hard to find. Every single dressing out there has some ingredient in it that is not paleo, or at least all the ones I've seen. They either have sugar, they have some type of weird chemical something thing, they have dairy, they have something. So I figured today we would make 3 simple dressing recipes. I kind of rotate through these and I just keep them in my fridge in like a mason jar or some other Tupperware type container, usually making enough for about the week, maybe a little bit longer. I usually don't like to save dressings for too long, but I do like to at least have one ready and handy so that I'm not just having olive oil with a little sprinkling of vinegar over it. I do like to add a little bit of spice and stuff to some of my salads. So our 3 dressings that we are going to be making is a Greek dressing, a kind of Asian inspired dressing, and then a roasted garlic vinaigrette. So for the Greek dressing, well, I guess for all of the dressings, we're going to be using olive oil. Now, one thing to note that somebody had commented on one of my my videos, I believe it was the roast chicken video a few weeks back, is to really be sure where you're getting your olive oil from. I get olive oil that's either imported from Italy or from Greece. That's the only way, at least according to this person, that's the only way that you can really ensure that your olive oil is purely just olives, and that they're not cutting the oil with a cheaper type of oil that's probably not paleo. So that's one thing to note. Definitely just check your label and see where your olive oil is coming from. So every single one of our dressings is going to start with olive oil, and almost all of them are also going to have salt and pepper. Now, there isn't going to be any salt in the Asian dressing, and the reason for that is because we're going to be using another ingredient that takes care of that salty flavor. So for the Greek one, we're going to be using red wine vinegar and a little bit of oregano along with the salt and pepper. For our Asian vinaigrette, we're going to be adding a little bit of sesame oil, some coconut aminos, lime juice, and ginger. And then for our roasted garlic vinaigrette, we're going to be using some Dijon mustard, just a splash of apple cider vinegar, and the most important ingredient, roasted garlic. Now for roasted garlic, what I do is I just cut off kind of the top third of the garlic, pour a little bit of olive oil over the top and wrap it in foil, and then just pop it in the oven as I'm roasting vegetables or something else. And after about 30 to 40 minutes, your roasted garlic will be ready. So let's make our dressing. So we'll start with our Greek dressing first. I think it's the most simple. It's something that if you really needed to, you can quickly kind of whip up in the bottom of your salad bowl before you add your greens and stuff like that. So what we're gonna start with is 1/3 cup of olive oil. And now I'm just pouring this into a Tupperware container that I have. These are just glass Tupperware containers. You can use anything, mason jars, old clean jars of other types of, you know, roasted red peppers or coconut oil or something like that. We're going to be adding some red wine vinegar. This would be a lot easier if I punctured the other hole. 1 second. That should help. There we go. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, a couple of rounds of cracked fresh black pepper, and then just a touch of oregano. Now you can seal this right up. Make sure the lid is on super tight and you can shake it up and pour it over your favorite type of Greek salad. This goes great with cucumbers and red onions, some chopped up Kalamata olives, and one of your favorite types of, you know, nuts with some grilled chicken. If you aren't using this right away, make sure you store it in the fridge. Now let's go on to our next dressing. So for our Asian dressing, again, we are going to start with 1/3 cup of olive oil. And to this, we are going to add the juice of 1 lime. We are going to add some sesame oil. This is going to give it a really great kind of Asian flavor that a lot of people kind of attribute to Asian dressings. We're going to add a little bit of coconut aminos. Now this is going to give us that nice salty bite that we would be getting if we were adding some kosher salt. And then we are going to grate some fresh ginger that I just peeled. Now you can screw on the lid and shake up this dressing. This would be perfect paired with some nice slivered almonds, some grilled chicken, or kind of like a grilled beef that has some Chinese 5-spice rubbed on it before it's grilled, along with some fresh cilantro and some green onions. So for the roasted garlic vinaigrette, what you want to do first is grab a small bowl, and as you can see, you can easily squeeze out these garlic cloves. Now you can just squeeze out about 4 of them. Certainly feel free to add more if you're a big garlic fan. Once these 4 cloves are put into the small bowl, you can kind of just use a fork and mash them up. As you can see, it almost turns into like a paste. Now, in order to help break down the garlic even a little bit more, we're gonna add the salt directly to the garlic instead of adding it to the dressing. Now you can continue to kind of mash the garlic and mash it with the salt to help break down the garlic. Once you have a paste like this, you can grab your mason jar or whatever you're going to be making your dressing in and scoop the roasted garlic in. You want to make sure you get all of it. You're then going to add just a small amount of Dijon mustard. Only about 1/2 teaspoon. About the same amount of the apple cider vinegar. If you like more vinegar, feel free to add more. And then you're just going to add about 1/4 cup of olive oil. You can add a couple turns of fresh cracked black pepper. And then using your fork, you can kind of just mix around the roasted garlic into the olive oil. Now don't be afraid of the fact that there's 4 cloves of garlic. When you roast your garlic, it definitely tones down the flavor and ends up making it a little bit more of a sweet flavor and kind of a nutty flavor than a very sharp flavor that you would get with raw garlic. Now you can taste it. If there's way too much garlic flavor for you, definitely feel free to add a little bit more olive oil. Otherwise, your dressing is ready for your salad. I hope you all enjoyed these 3 simple dressing recipes. Now there's no excuse not to eat that salad. Have a great day.